Okay, so the first card you have for your past is the Page of Swords. Yeah, this is about someone who's very defensive. They're kind of not quite sure of themselves, someone who's young. I'm getting a really unsteady feeling around this, actually. It's a sort of an insecure feeling. If you look at this page, it's on top of a hill, and you think if you're on top of a hill, you'd be on top of the world. And I think you were thinking that I should be on top of the world. I should be on top of the world. But he's not feeling like that. He's not feeling as if he's on top of the world. He's very defensive. And I think this is probably how you were feeling at this time. I think you'd gotten up to a certain point. And I think on the outside looking in, things seemed fine. I think there were people around you who they probably had no idea how you felt, that you felt like this. I'm seeing a lot of defensiveness coming from you, and also a bit of insecurity as well. Again, if you look at this page, he's up on a hill, but it's a green hill. It's a green hill, it's full of moss, and moss is very slippery. So you didn't feel secure up there on your hill. You felt as if you were about to fall off. I'm actually not seeing any real reason for you to have this feeling. But sometimes we just have these feelings without, a proper reason. I do anyway. Sometimes these feelings are just there. And I think you knew logically, you knew that you didn't have any real reason to feel like this. But maybe that's what it made it feel even worse for you, because if you knew what it was, if you knew what the problem was, you could say, well, oh, the problem's this, and then I can change it. But it was almost as if it was like an invisible problem, sort of floating around you in the air. Again, look at this card. There's wind all around, blowing his hair, blowing everything around. There's clouds everywhere, and the wind's there. You can feel it there, but you can't see it. So you can just feel it though. And nobody around you could see that problem, but you could feel it. And also your mind wanted to escape this feeling. There's a flock of birds flying above his head, which is about flying away, escaping, and they're near his head, so he's thinking about escaping. He wants to be free of this feeling, and I think that's how you were feeling as well. So if this is all resonating with you, I think the key to starting to step out of this and to get this kind of freedom, and it's an inner freedom, it's freedom from a feeling. I think the key to that is look at the colour of his clothes. The legs are yellow and the arms are yellow. So yellow can be about communication. So I think you probably need to talk to someone. And you need to find someone who you feel secure around, who you feel safe around, and just talk to them, just communicate, just get this out of your system. And I think you also need some feedback from someone you trust as well. And I think that's where the start to getting this kind of inner freedom is. You do have someone around you. I can see that. You do have someone around you can trust. It might be someone you're in a relationship with, or it might be just be a friend. But whoever this is, they're very, very close to you, I think. They want to help you. And I think they'd appreciate it as well. I think they'd like you to open up to them a bit. They're feeling a little bit of a gap, I think, between you and them. And I think they'd appreciate that as well. I think it'd be good for both of you. So, starting to get this out of your head is a really good thing, even if it's just to offload. And I think this person would love to hear a little bit of a deeper conversation from you as well. That's what I'm getting in that card. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the Hierophant. Okay, this is interesting because the Hierophant's actually a lot like you. Now, I think a lot of people who know you, they probably think the opposite. They probably think, oh, well, the Hierophant's thoughtful, spiritual, he sits there, he doesn't say anything. But I think how you appear on the outside is quite different from how you are on the inside. I've seen this in your readings before, this huge difference between the way a lot of people see you and the way you actually are. The Hierophant's a teacher, he's a leader, he's strong, he's powerful. That's how you are, and that's how he is on the outside. But he's actually quite soft in the middle, soft on the inside, and pure. He's wearing red on the outside, white on the inside, and obviously white can represent purity. The biggest thing about this Hierophant, though, is he follows his own voice. You know, he has his ears covered if you look at him. So he's not listening to anyone who's outside of him. He's not following anyone else. He's just following himself. And that's exactly what you're like. You're exactly like that. The other thing about him is he only lets very few, very, very special people close to him. You know, there's a pair of crossed keys in front of his feet, and only very, very special people get to unlock you and with those keys, and only those very few people get to see the inside of you. And I think even then there's still a part of you that you keep to yourself, even when it comes to people who are really close to you. And yeah, I keep on seeing this specific person who's close to you, who I was seeing in the Page of Swords, and they'd like you to open up a bit more to them. I'm actually seeing a lot of text, calls, a lot of light-hearted conversations going on between you. They'd like more than that from you. They'd like a deeper conversation from you. And I think that's what will help you as well. That's what will help you offload all of this problem that you have on your head. And I can understand it might be a bit difficult for you to open up totally, because you know, I think you do have this fear of opening up these great big floodgates, because there's a lot of very deep, very difficult emotions in there, and you just don't want to kind of, you know, you don't want the whole floodgates to open onto someone else. But if this is resonating, just start with one step, because I think this is really going to help you. It's also going to help to bring this person a lot closer to you as well. And that's what they want. That's what I'm getting. They're feeling this. Okay, so the last card you have, your past, is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so yeah, this is interesting. A lot of people see you as being a little bit like this, actually. You know, doing things on a whim, rushing in and out without thinking. You actually do think quite deeply about things, and I think there are people who didn't or don't realise that. I'm actually seeing someone here who's a little bit in denial. Okay, I'll just tell you what I'm seeing. I think you might have moved on from someone, and I don't think they quite understand the gravity, you know, the seriousness, I should say, of this. The feeling I'm getting is that you distance yourself for a reason, for a very, very well thought out reason. And I don't think they see that. They might be thinking something like, oh, they'll change their mind, you know, it's really nothing. They're kind of like this Knight of Wands. They go in and out, whatever. They don't think about what they're doing. That's the sort of thing I'm getting. But I think in time they will come to realise that it's going to take some time, but I think eventually they will. I am actually seeing them coming back to you, maybe even more than once, because, yeah, they're not seeing this as seriously as you are. They're not taking this seriously. And, you know, I think this might be another example of people not seeing you as you actually are, which is what I was seeing in the Hierophant. But yeah, if this resonates, expect some more communication coming in from them. Just be ready for that. But it's probably going to be a bit light-hearted. Again, they don't see this as seriously as you do. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the first card you have for your present is, yeah, the King of Cups. So, okay, so, yeah, this is probably how you felt. Yeah, I think you probably felt a bit like this after you decided to move on from this person in the Knight of Wands. And yeah, again, they're probably still not taking this very seriously. I'm seeing that again. But yeah, you took this really seriously, very seriously. Again, I'm seeing you really thinking this out very, very carefully. And okay, I don't know if this is going to make any sense to you. Probably, you know, it's probably going to sound a bit strange, but I'll just say it anyway. Okay, so this king's obviously all alone, and, you know, he's on an island, he's surrounded by water. And again, there's a lot of mistrust in his eyes. Look at his eyes. He's looking one way and then he's looking the other way. It's almost like he's guarding himself. And you're like that normally. You're like that naturally anyway. You do guard yourself. You're very careful about who you let onto this island with you. But I think you're even more so now. It's a little bit like, it's a little bit like Alcatraz, that famous old prison, and it's surrounded by shark-infested waters. None of the criminals can get out. You don't let anyone close to you because of these shark-infested waters that are around you. But in your case at this time, or at one time, I think especially with this person in the Knight of Wands, I think you felt as if the criminals, or in this case the criminal, was inside with you and you wanted to get them out. So whatever this person did was quite serious, actually. And yeah, they still don't realise how serious this is. That's what I'm seeing. And yeah, you've let this person out of your life now, I think. But I think you might be, you're probably even more careful now about who you let in. You're even more like this King of Cups. Your eyes are going backwards and forwards, and you're thinking, who's coming near me? I'm guarded, I'm waiting, I'm ready for you. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing. But again, with these people who are inside your inner circle, there is one very, very special person. And I think they might be starting to feel even more now that they're even more on the outside. So think about who this might be, and they're very special to you. They're definitely someone you can trust. So make sure you're connecting with this person. So yeah, I hope that made sense. I hope it didn't sound too crazy. So the next card you have, your present, is the Page, not the Page, the Ace of Pentacles. Why am I saying Page? Because I'm looking at the Page of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, obviously I love this card. This is a fantastic card. Yeah, I think, you've been through this big upheaval, obviously, and you're probably still recovering from all of that. But again, try to talk to this person, or, I'm just seeing this person who's close to you, and you need to keep on talking to them, because I think the more you talk to them, the better you're going to feel. They're a really amazing person. They're like the Ace of Pentacles to you. They're like the Rock to you. They understand you as well. They're a little bit intuitive as well. I'm getting that as well. But I'm seeing the Ace of Pentacles in them. They're like your rock. They're like your stability. And they're kind of the path toward you feeling a lot better. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is money. There's definitely going to be some money coming to you. I'm actually seeing... I'm seeing a source of income that's actually already there for you. I think it's something that involves a lot of hard work, especially in the beginning when you start doing this. There's also something around this that might be making you feel a little bit uncomfortable for some reason. I think you know what this thing is. It's not a new thing. You might be thinking about this and you might be saying something like, I've got a lot of work on right now. I'm busy. I can't do that. I want to get this other thing out of the way first. And yeah, you are busy, but I think part of you might be avoiding this because I'm picking up on some kind of uncomfortable feelings and some insecurities again around this thing. So yeah, if this is making any sense to you, if this is resonating, and if there is something that you're avoiding, I don't think it's all that difficult. Don't be angry, but I think the biggest block around this might be in your head. It's like you're avoiding something. That's the feeling I'm getting. And I think that's why this is here. It's to remind you not to avoid this thing. Because it's not just potentially lucrative, it's something that might really move you into a new direction. I'm also seeing some people around this, and I think they'd be really good people to have around you to advise you on practical things with whatever this thing is. So if this isn't making any sense to you, think about this thing, and think about the thing that you like, that you're kind of avoiding the most, that you want to avoid. Think, oh, that thing that kind of makes you go, oh, I don't want to do that. That's the thing. That's probably it. I've seen this in your readings before, this thing that you're trying to avoid. I don't know if it's the same thing or a new thing, but it might be the same thing, because what I'm seeing here is it's something that's been around you for a while, or it's there, so it might be the same thing. And all I have to say is, there's a lot of money around this, but it's only there if you're prepared to face this fear that you have around this. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Right, so the last card you have for your present is the Hanged Man. Yeah, again, you're holding back on this thing. It's a project, it's a job or business, it's something like that. Now, I think doing this thing might be actually about expanding yourself, and I think you need to expand yourself actually. I'm getting a sort of a restless feeling around this and around you as well. You know, it's kind of like, I know what I'm doing, it's going fine. It's almost like I can do this with my eyes closed and upside down, like this man. You know, and that's fantastic. You know, everyone wants to be good at what they do. But there's this kind of restlessness around this that I'm feeling, and it's telling me that you're probably ready for a new challenge. You know, Aries needs to be challenged. You know, where's the fight? Where's the fight in what you're doing now? Where's the new thing to conquer? The fact that this is scary to you, or that you're avoiding this thing, that tells me that that's the direction you need to go in. So don't be like this hanged man if this is what you're doing. Think about what this is and try and go toward that scary thing. Don't avoid it, because it's going to open up a whole lot of amazing new things for you. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, you have the Ace of Pentacles and you have the Wheel of Fortune. So I won't say any more about that. That says it all. If anything says do this thing, it's those two cards. So yeah, the other thing I'm seeing here is I think you're about to turn things around for yourself, turn your life around in a way. I think at one time, just recently actually, I think you thought that your life was going in one direction, and you're going along and you think, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to pursue this and whatever. And then you realised that that wasn't what you wanted. And now you're kind of coming to a new phase, and it's a positive phase, and you're turning it around into this new direction. You're having a few ups and downs. You're not sure about this new phase, but I want to assure you that it is a positive phase. And I think the warning around this, though, is not to be impatient, because it's a slow-moving phase. I know that's a difficult thing to tell an Aries. It's kind of like telling a child not to touch a box of chocolates. But I'm trying. I'm going to try. And I have to tell you this because it's what I'm seeing. You're going to be ready for this change. You want this change. But big changes, especially big important ones, which is what I think this is, they take time. And you're steering your life towards a new direction. I'm just looking at this wheel, and it looks a bit like a ship's steering wheel to me. And if you've ever seen one of those great big enormous ships, sometimes it takes days for the captain to turn the ship around in the opposite direction if it needs to go in the totally opposite direction. And that's what you're doing. So try not to be impatient. It is happening, but it's taking time. And also, I know you probably don't want to hear this, but part of making this big change, this turnaround, is probably something to do with this project or this thing that's in the Ace of Pentacles. Because I said in the beginning, I was looking at them both together. So they're relating to each other. So part of this big change is this opportunity or this job or whatever this is, or this business thing, I don't know, that's there. So please, please do that. And also, I think with that thing, maybe this is what's bothering you or worrying you, you are going to have to do a lot of learning, or it might be studying, it might not be formal learning, it might just be that you have to learn something new, because the characters around the edge of this card, you know, they're all reading books, so there's some learning in that as well. But please embrace this. I know it's scary, I'm getting the feeling around that, but you've got to do this. So the next card you have for your future is the Four of Cups. Okay, so yeah. All right, so I think I saw this situation in your last reading as well. So it might be an ongoing thing, but I think this has something to do with this person I was seeing in the Knight of Wands. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing this person reaching out to you again. There's an element of love here, I think. There's some emotion here. Obviously, this is Cups. But there's a lot of confusion around this as well. Maybe that's why you had these problems with them. But yeah, they're going to reach out. And obviously what I'm seeing here is you're not going to be interested in that. And I might have even seen the exact same card in your last reading, just from memory. So yeah, I think you're just over this whole thing actually now. I think you're over the stress of this whole thing. Sorry, I think I just touched the microphone. Sorry about that. yeah, you're just over it, like this man. You're just sitting there with your arms crossed going, no, no, that's enough. That's it. But get ready, because I think this will be this won't be the last time they'll contact you. I think they are going to contact you, or they'll try to contact you a few times. I'm seeing them contacting you over and over again. And again, the feeling that they've got, or the thought they've got in their head, is what I'm seeing in the Knight of Wands. Oh, they'll be back again. They come backwards and forwards. They're a bit temperamental. They kind of rush in and out, and they're fiery and all of that kind of thing. Oh, they'll be back again. No. What I'm seeing is no, you will not. You will not be back again. Okay, so the last card you have for your future is the Lovers. So yeah, again, there was an element of love in this. There was some kind of love. I don't know if this was a relationship or not, but there were some romantic feelings there. That's what I'm seeing. I think you feel now that, looking back on this, that you might have been tempted by this person, because this card can be about temptation. I don't know if you were tempted by the way they looked. I am seeing them as a very, very attractive person, a very physically attractive person, and they were friendly as well, or they still are. They're a friendly person, so there's that as well. But there's a snake here on this card. I'm not saying they're a snake, I'm not saying that, but you definitely realised that you were being tempted by the wrong thing. It wasn't right for you, and you had to make a choice, which is what this card's about. It's about choices, and you did make that choice, and that's a final choice for you. I'm seeing that again here. And again, you thought really carefully about this. You didn't just click your fingers and make this decision. And I think that's what's bothering them, that they're still thinking that this is just a temporary decision and you'll snap out of it. But no, you're very serious. You're very, very serious about this. And yeah, you're not going back to this situation again. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So, Aries, I hope this resonated. But as you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. I think in the beginning I was a bit tongue-tied. I'm sorry about that. I was a bit trying to get what I was trying to say out, and it was a bit weird, but I hope that all made some kind of sense to you somewhere. But yeah, as you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do, and thank you so much for watching.